What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at IEM Melbourne 2025 playoffs. In the group stage, I went with double Mouse, double Falcons, and one Liquid in Shuhei. Could have gone better. I think the couple of, I think Monesi could have fragged better in earlier stages than, in Vitality, or in the Vitality game. Of course, you don't expect Falcons to win. In the end, I guess I should have gone double Vitality instead of Falcons. It just felt like a decent spot to try and angle a bit of points against some weaker opponents for Falcons in a honeymoon period. But and also just because I wanted to kind of gamble gamble a little bit more in this event. Apart from that, I mean, it went about as expected, I guess, with the Mouse guys getting decent points, going 3-0. Actually, Liquid kind of overperforming. I would say Shuhei got better points than I would have expected. Top 42 won't help me much here. I'm just angling for like top 3 finishes. So unfortunately, this one won't help me too much in that case. So playoffs next. This is the bracket. I would say it's so hard to go against Vitality, first of all, because they are on an insane streak right now. I don't think Mongols or Liquid will beat Vitality. I think Vitality is the number one favorite to win this event. They are in pursuit of the Grand Slam. I think the double up on Vitality is almost unavoidable. And on the other side, I think we can gamble a little bit. And not go for Mouse, essentially. I do think Mouse is the favorite to make it to the grand finals. Whichever of Gamer Legion and Falcons makes it through. How picked are Falcons players? There's like some Kixan pickers as like I would assume like a last pick Kixan. I'm trying to think if I should honestly go for Gamer Legion. I think the firepower on Falcons is just too high though, and I probably, if I'm gonna gamble on one of those teams, it probably should be Falcons. Just the fact that Gamer Legion missed out on the major. Honestly, if Gamer Legion made the major, I would probably go for them in my gambly lineup here. If you are looking for points, I would go Vitality Mouse and then a one-off player from Falcons or the Mongols, or even Shuhei if the price is right. We can check the prices here. But yeah, double Vitality I think is just unavoidable in every scenario. If you go double Mouse, I like the price for Jimmy. He was pretty good in the previous stage. I think Brolan is still a decent pick at this price. I probably wouldn't go for Zershin, but Spinks is decent. Boji is just so consistent for this team nowadays. What are the prices like for Falcons? I have not looked at the price at all. The fantasy just came out and I was like, okay, I have time to record now. Let's do it. How are the prices here? Gamer Legion do have pretty good prices. So like, maybe I personally will go for Gamer Legion, even though I do favor Falcons in that matchup. Just like, because it might make sense for me to try and gamble and hope for a top 3 finish. They're just so much less expensive. It essentially allows me to go for whoever I want from Vitality. Apex has been so good lately. Like, he's just the eye test. His aim looks so crisp right now. Yeah, if I go double Gamer Legion, like a Tawson, I have been actually kind of impressed by firepower wise. And then either PR or Res. Probably Res in this case. Or maybe PR because the price is slightly lower. Depends a little. I do think I prefer Res. Let's actually see how this looks. Or I'll have PR for now. I wouldn't go for Slend. I am not as impressed by his gameplay lately. Like, I think if Gamer Legion are to make one change on this lineup, the first person I'd be looking at replacing is Slend. And there's some offers out there, like Dexter is free right now, so yeah. If we go for these two, we can go for Apex, we can probably go for Zai Wu if we want. And then we have 184, we can go for probably Techno. Shuhei steals 175. How good was Shuhei last stage in terms of fragging? He did definitely have like bad maps as well. But I think I just chickened out the worst match, which was no, this is in time period. Yeah, I just chickened out against Vitality. Apart from that, inconsistent but overall decent. Yeah, better than last tournament. Honestly, Liquid did look pretty good against Navi today, but not like perfect. Like Naf is still lagging behind, I think. Maybe I like Shuhei more than Techno though. Who do I think will win between Mongols and Liquid? It's a very tight one actually, maybe. I mean, Mongols is favored, but they haven't looked as good lately. I think it might be Shuhei again, and then we can just... Then I don't have a way to really use that money here. I don't think it's Naf. Or is it Naf? Do we just gamble that Naf is gonna look good in that one match against the Mongols? He's definitely put into places where he could do better, but he's... It's a big gamble to go for Naf, definitely. But yeah, we are gonna go for Rez here if we go for this. I could of course not go for Zaiwu and instead go for like Rops Flames. That's actually kind of nuts. It's probably better than Zaiwu. It's the exact same money. I don't think I want to go for like Mezzi Rops, for example. I don't think that allows me to go for anyone who I'd want that much. Yeah, I think it's these two guys actually. And then either Naf or Techno, I suppose. I think Techno's the better choice on paper, but he's also more picked. You know what? The theme is to gamble a little and go for picks that are not as picked, I guess. So I think Naf is the one I want to go for here. Yeah. It makes sense, right? We can hope for one match. Like, we're gonna chicken him out anyways against Vitality. So it's just one match gamble, and we're hoping that he gets like a 1.2-ish rating, and Liquid somehow really turn it up against the Mongols. There's a decent chance that that happens. I think it's a better chance than the fact that Techno would have really high ratings. Unless Mongols really destroy Liquid, then I can see Techno getting like a high rating. Of course, if I don't go for Tawson, I could go higher or heavier on... Or less heavy on Vitality. We could have like Mezzi, who I've really liked lately. And then for like... PR. How does that actually look? If we don't go for Tawson, we go for PR. Do we get... We don't even get Mezzi. Not even with Flamesy Mezzi instead of Robs. Yeah, I think it's not worth it then. In that case, I want Tawson instead. Tawson, Rez, Robs, Flamesy, and Naf. So yeah, if I was... I'll show you some kind of lineup where... Just in case you're just aiming for points, I think someone like Mezzi, Robs, Roland, I think Jimmy. Okay, that's actually maybe a little too expensive then. So where do I make cuts? I can't make cuts here, so it has to be cuts here. You could go Apex Mezzi, but I think you want to have one of these two. Maybe it's Flames Mezzi and Shuhei. Like this is something around these lines, maybe even ZTR if you want, is what I would go for. Probably a Shuhei over ZTR personally. Or you can go for the Apex Mezzi. And then you have cash for like Magisk. But I think in this kind of format, my preference is to chicken out your 5th player in the semis. So like whoever you pick as a 5th from these teams, just chicken them out here. And if you want to chicken out, you usually want to have super cheap players. So keep that in mind when making your lineups. But yeah, for me, in this event, this seems like a solid strat. Let's check how... This is not gonna be an easy one in terms of roles. I'm guessing support on NAF is pretty much the only one that makes sense. Yeah. What about Tawson? He would also be support. I don't think it's noob. That's not very good either. I mean, everyone else is gonna have pretty decent ones. What about NAF on eco-friendly? That's probably the way to go. NAF on eco-friendly and then Tawson on support instead. Then here, Rez with pretty decent at the headshot. I'll pick Rez last. Rob's multi 4929, Flamesy multi, Flamesy entry. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He's definitely the most aggressive player here, and then probably multi on Rob's. Leader isn't completely ridiculous, but I probably would rather go for something else. And then Rez, probably headshots. Yeah, still headshots. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought in terms of roles. Boosters could also be a slight difficulty though. But there's not, you don't have to use all of the boosters. So just go for the best boosters first. For example, assist. Assist is one of the best boosters. Maybe here. Drops on the pistol, sure. Rest up a scorecard, sure. Tawson with nades could be good. Who are we missing? Flames and Tawson. Flames quad makes sense. And then Tawson. There's all of these that are pretty decent. This stuff. Cannon fodder. Yeah, okay. He's the best user of that booster. We can go for that. Yeah. I mean, it's gambly with Gamer Legion. That's the #1 thing. But their price is probably about right to go for this kind of gamble. Because the players you'd want from Falcons are pretty expensive. And you couldn't go for Herops and Flames. So, yeah. That's the lineup. If you enjoy this kind of content, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.